Okay, here we are with Mike Lisavich from 10,
For 10 Accelerator.
10 Accelerator. And he is a coach here at Startup Weekend. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. Happy to be here.
Great. Can you tell us the experience here since yesterday, from today, this morning?
It's been a lot of fun. There is a lot of cool stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that are really excited. I have been surprised by the amount of people. It's huge. I mean, there's a ton of people here. There's some really cool ideas, and there's a loud buzz. It has been nonstop, so it has been a blast ever since I landed yesterday.
Great. Is there any project that got your attention?
I've been talking to a lot with. There's a team that is building. It's more of a website, but really what they're trying to do is they're trying to create a better experience for young mothers or new mothers that are coming out and trying to find the right doctor for them and for their families. So they are doing. It's kind of a search where you can get some reviews and some ratings from your peers, and it allows you to find the right doctor as opposed to just a doctor. So I think they have some potential to do some good stuff. They have their developer is working hard while the rest of the team is trying to flush out the real business. So I think they're working hard. I think they're also working fast, which is also important here.
Great. What is let me see. Okay. For ideas, I mean, if you are in some way trying to, how to say this, to grade or to qualify or to found and yes, I guess the right word is found ideas.
Yep.
What would you take into account in order to say this is a good idea and I can spend some money with you?
So I have the fun task of every 6 months or so going through about 200 ideas of people that think they're going to change the world, which is great. We tend to connect with accelerators specifically. We like to see people that identify with a real problem, because when you work in a startup, they fall apart, things go bad. But people that really solve a meaningful problem, not only to the world, which is how you get customers and money, but also solve a problem to themselves, something they really care about, those are the people that we really look for. We like to see people get their eyes lit up. We like to see them inspired. But we also make sure that they solve a problem, because it's really tough, especially in today, with there's so many startups and there's so many people that have ideas. A lot of people build cool stuff, but the problem is no one seems to care. And that stinks. But those that are able to solve a problem and do so with some passion, we want to get involved with those people, because working with a startup it's not unlike any sort of relationship in dating, and you need to get along, and the team needs to get along, and that's a big part of it as well. But we love to see passionate entrepreneurs that are trying to solve a real problem.
Yeah, I mean this thing is about startups is kind of different of being a traditional entrepreneur. And well, people from coming from this traditional entrepreneurship, it's kind of hard to listening or to knowing that a startup could be, a disaster 3 weeks after it started, and then you have to, get up again and start again.
Yep.
How do you see this? I mean, how can you explain to this all entrepreneurs that this is a way of making money and making a living?
I can tell you just a personal story. I used to work for a big corporate company. And I didn't like it. I was just a bad fit. And I've quit my job. I've quit my job twice to go pursue something that I really loved. I love working with young startups. I think it's fun. You're going to fail. But there's different ways of failing. And failing, even if you start a company and it doesn't work out, what you can learn and move forward. The best part and the cool part about being an entrepreneur these days, and especially with kind of the web and technology companies that I work with, is it doesn't cost a lot of money. You can fail fast, and by fail fast you can learn a lot. And that's just a different mentality. I think founders, especially young founders, need to understand is that everybody fails. You can look from the youngest entrepreneur all the way up to the most senior people that you would want to be looking at as kind of like a hero. You could look at even someone like, it's very cliche, but a Steve Jobs. Failed miserably with Apple for a very long time. And then they got it going and they figured it out. Not everybody has success the first time, and it seldom is. But those that kind of love what they do, they tend to fight through the bad times. And things just go bad because it's your first time doing it. But it should be that way, and it should be fun. And I think if you take it in stride and you understand that everybody struggles and that not everybody succeeds right off the bat and that things do take time, I love it. I think it's fun. It energizes me to work in this environment. It energizes for me to work with people my age that are kind of, that want to change the world. I think that's really cool, and I think it's really fun to be a part of. And whether you're doing it at a small company or a bigger company, or you are a new founder, just taking risks, having fun, and seeing what happens, I don't think you can lose.
All right. Well, here talking about participants, what they usually ask you, or what are you helping them with?
Sure. So I'm a big numbers guy.
All right.
I have the fun privilege not only to kind of work with some startups, but I also get to invest, which is pretty cool. A big responsibility, but a lot of fun. So a lot of people want to understand what we look for in terms of numbers. They want to understand what we look for in terms of markets and things like that. So a lot of people have those kind of questions. So really what I get to do here is try and help people figure out how to get some numbers that make sense. Because while building the product is smart, and understanding the problem, you kind of have to, because it helps create the pitch that you undoubtedly have to give eventually if you want to try and raise some money. We care about the numbers too, so we want to know how many people you're solving this problem for. If you're building a company that's solving a problem for 10 people, chances are not a lot of people are going to care, and you should probably look at something that's a little bit bigger. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but especially if you're looking at kind of raising money down the road, we want to know that it's a big problem. We want to know that there's ways for you to make money. Cool technologies are simply that. We look for great businesses, and great businesses come from real problems and really passionate founders. So I get to work with people here on the early stage to talk about what they're doing and why they're doing, and making sure that people care. I've said it a bunch of times, but we really care that you're solving a problem. That's the number one thing we want to see you do, is solve a meaningful problem. And then after that, once you've gotten through that, where I kind of come in, which is at a later stage on these days, is to help people wrap their heads around the numbers so that they can do their job tomorrow convincing the judges that it's a really big problem and that they should be given some money to go kind of figure it out.
Right. Have you participated before in in events like this?
Yeah, I have. So I got to go to a number of these in Columbus, Ohio, which is where 10 Accelerator, our accelerator, is. So it's a fun opportunity, and one of the cool things, especially with 10X, that we've seen is we've actually had companies that started at a startup weekend, and the founders kept going, and eventually they decided to quit their job, and they've actually built the company that they started at startup weekend, which is pretty cool to see. And not only that, but I've seen a few of them go out and raise a few $100,000, and they're still doing it now, which is even more fun, especially for me, because I got to see them when they just had an idea at a startup weekend, and they were just these guys that met. So it's really fun to me to come to these things, because it is possible for those things to happen down the road. And it's just cool to kind of give my time and try and watch other people dip into this field, because I quit my job about 5 years ago in the corporate world, and I've never regretted it for a day. And I think the opportunity to help more people figure that out and know if it's a fit for them is a pretty fun experience.
Wow. Well, thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.